So here are the stimuli that we created in the previous video. We made 3 gratings, we've made them drift, and we've put masks on the left one here, which is a circle mask, and we put a cross mask on the right stimulus here. By left and by right, how did we do that? Well, we set the position, remember? I'll just quit out of this. We set the position within the window. So we set the circle grating minus 250, so it shifted it to the left, 250. And we left the middle grating stimulus, okay, we left the middle one in the middle, and remember that has no mask, and then we set the right hand stimulus, the cross mask stimulus, to the right, 250. So let's just have a bit of a closer look at the code that what we've done here. So we've got win0, so here we create the window and we set some initial INITIR parameters. So the parameters were things like how big it is in the width and the height, what screen, this is screen 0. If you've got another screen, that would be screen 1. I've got another screen just here. This is the lookup table, or this is the calibration tables. We're just using the test monitor. We don't want it to be full screen. We want the color to be middle gray, so that's black would be -1 in the red, the green and the blue. +1 would be white in all 3. Guns, and we've got pixels as units. So we create the window first, and then what we're doing here, we'll just skip over this. What we're doing here is we're creating a stimulus. In this case, it's a grating stimulus, and we position it visually to the left, and we set the parameters. So this is stimulus 1, or grating 1, and then we do the same thing again. We create a stimulus and we position it in the center. And set the parameters, and then we've got another one and we set it to the right. Okay. And I said in that last video, hey look, because we have these 3 different stimuli, we can set the parameters of each independently from the others. And whenever we then hit the flip, or we draw the stimulus, the specific stimulus, to the window, and then we flip the window from the memory onto the screen, it's just going to take the parameters that we've assigned to that particular stimulus when we do the draw, when we call the draw. So let's just show that. Let's change, so here we've got the circle stimulus, that's on the left. Let's change the orientation. Let's make the orientation now 90, from 90 to 0 degrees. And let's change the texture of the middle grating to square wave. Remember, that's going to have the high frequency transitions between the light and the dark aspects of the grating. And let's change the size, or let's change the spatial frequency of the cross stimulus. So we were at 0.25 there. Let's make that 0.04. Let's increase the spatial frequency. Let's see what we get. We've changed the initialized variables the first time it's called. Right, so here we've changed the orientation on this left one here. Remember, all the other ones at 90 degrees were drifting horizontally. In that middle one, remember how we changed it? Let's just shift that over there. We changed the texture to a square wave, and that's the square wave there. And what did we do on the grating stimulus? We changed the spatial frequency, so we've increased the spatial frequency, made the bars more narrow, so there's more gratings per visual angle or per pixel here. And we can see here there's a lot more here in this cross grating. And what we've done is we've essentially created the stimuli, and we've changed the variables of the stimuli when they were created or when they were initialized. And then whenever we call the draw function, it takes the parameters, or the previously set parameters, from the program that we've made. we can change and update each stimulus or each aspect of the stimulus, even within a loop. Because remember, this is just going to take the last set of defined parameters. So what do I mean by this? Well, we've got the circle grating here, and we're increasing the phase by 0.01. So let's make it 2.5.025. So this should be a lot quicker. And what we're going to do here is we're going to set the set phase here. We're going to comment that out, so it should not change the phase. We've turned it into a static grating. And what we're going to do for the third one is let's just reverse the direction. So now we're subtracting the phase. So we're doing different things to all three of our stimuli. And we should see these changes be reflected on each of the stimuli, independently of the other ones. So here, this one's whizzing across a lot quicker now. It's still set the orientation, because remember, we've set the orientation up here, outside the while loop, and we're only changing the phase here. We've made this middle one here a static grating, and on the right here, you see we've changed the order. We changed the drift direction. It's now drifting upwards. It has the appearance of drifting upwards. So this is how we can change the parameters independently or separately. We create the stimulus, or initialize the stimulus first, and then, since we've got different names for each of them, because this helps us when we code later on, we want to we want to change this stimulus or this one or whatever, then we can just set the properties for each one independently. Okay, that's how we can do this. I'll leave this one here.